Good evening and welcome to tonight's coverage of the Full Throttle Sim Racing Mach-1 Performance Cup Series presented by Full Throttle Television. My name's Bertie Hanna alongside Tony Solari tonight at Pocono Raceway, Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Tony, a lot of people see Pocono on the schedule and they go, oh no. A lot of people seem to struggle here. Some people love it, some people hate it. There doesn't seem to be much middle ground here.
It definitely is a love or hate track. They call it the tricky triangle. I mean, I'm sure, well, at least I started the ball by saying it. But some people love it, some people hate it. I like it. It's got a unique character to it. All corners are, kind of like representing other corners from other tracks. And it's kind of a change of pace from your regular, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, the guys are in qualifying right now. We'll look at our track description and our race analysis tonight. We've got 100 laps. 100 laps on the docket tonight around this what they call the tricky triangle. Stage caution lap 25. That's what they're going to be racing through here first. But you look at the track layout, and you're right. There's 3 corners here at this track. Very, very tough. There's a reason why they call it tricky triangle, because it is a tough track to get around, and it's tough to be good in all 3 corners. Usually you have to sacrifice at least one of the corners to be good in the other 2. Tony, what was kind of your approach when you get to this track? Which corner do you try to focus on?
My favorite corner is the 3rd corner. I like a hard brake zone. It's a little bit more tighter, kind of a short track corner. Although turn 2, the tunnel turn, it's modeled after one of the corners in Indy, and it's a fun high speed corner. Even though I have no sensation of being at Indy when I go through that corner, it still is pretty fun. But I've always struggled at turn 1, and that's a big high sweeper that closes on you. And to me, 1 is always the toughest, but 3 is the most fun, I think.
Yeah, I've always struggled in turn 1 myself, but it seems to be the most fun corner here. If you could get turn 2 right, it's a lot of fun when you can zip through there. It is a high-speed corner, and it's almost like you either hit it or miss it, and it happens so quickly you have to kind of do what you can there. And then turn 3, it does feel like it just goes on and on forever, and it's really easy to miss your entry points and exit points, and if you miss that, there's a wall waiting for you. So it is a tough track, but it's a fun track because every lap seems to be a little bit different. There's never 2 laps that are the same here.
Yeah, true. I mean, yeah, and it's you definitely see a lot of car separation too when the run goes. But early on restarts, and maybe we might see a few restarts. It's wide. That front straightaway is one of the longest straightaways in NASCAR, and these cars get spread out going into turn 1, and it makes for some really good, fun side by side green flag racing. So that hopefully we'll get to see a little bit of that, and hopefully there won't be any carnage to follow.
Yeah, these guys, like I said, they're out on qualifying right now doing that one. They get 2 laps, actually 2 laps here, which is 2 very long laps. But you do have something to kind of fall back on if you don't get it right the first time. Richie Coy just finishing his first lap, goes to P4 on the board. Going to be watching Daniel Simmons, Jamie Knopf. Jamie last week, speaking of Jamie, he had a rough qualifying effort. We'll kind of watch him, see if he can rebound this week and get a better starting position, because he came through the field, man. He really showed off last week coming through the field. I look for him to be strong here tonight.
Yeah, he's been showing himself up pretty good lately, and for sure, he did had a great run last week, and we've got a lot of good guys in this group too, and we're looking at Nicholas Moreau right now on the board, Danny LaFleur, his teammate, right behind him. So we'll see, but we still got some guys still out there waiting to take a lap.
Daniel Simmons currently P3. Yeah, these guys are hauling the mill around here. It is a very quick lap, and to add to the challenges of this track, you have the challenges of this car. Being so stiff, and when you lose it, it's almost gone. The hard tire they have here in iRacing, some of the struggles they have to deal with. It doesn't make things easier. It actually compounds the problems they have.
Yes, for sure. And I can see a lot of people getting loose going through that tunnel turn. Sometimes if you don't hit it right, to me, that wall closes in real fast too, especially with the amount of speed. A lot of guys don't even bother to brake in that corner. Very slight lift off, and they're back on the gas. So, we'll see. I think turn 2 might be the big trouble turn, just because of that, and especially too, like you were saying, the car, if it gets loose, there's no way of catching this thing,
Yeah.
and yeah, you're gonna have a hard time, and we're gonna see some of that going into turn one as well, or turn three as well on the exit, just getting onto that long straightaway.
Yeah, and just forget about it if you clip the apron. I mean, that's death immediately. It seems like here, especially in turn two. You're talking about how tough that turn is. There is a bump in turn two that gets worse every year. A lot of the drivers complain about it. It gets worse and worse every year in that corner, and even after the repave, it was smooth. Actually, they had to repave part of the repave in turn two, so they've had issues in that corner for sure. But these drivers are going to be bouncing around on those bumps and the bump stops on this car tonight. Looking forward to it, man. Wide straightaways too. A lot of opportunities to get side by side.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be fun. I can tell you one thing: we're not going to see any blown rotors in this race, so we'll see how. Other than that, you know what, we really don't know what to expect. But I feel like it's going to be pretty green for the most part.
Got blown rotors. We may have some blown fuses here tonight if if things keep. And Michael, that was not a dig at you. So Michael, if you're watching, but he knows what we're talking about.
Yes, and he's not in the field tonight, anyway, so that's all right.
Maybe he's watching, but anyway, the guys are starting to line up on the on pit road, and we'll see if we can start a starting lineup here.
Yeah, I got our top 10 right now. We got Nicholas Moreau on the front row with the pole position at a 54.230. We got number 19, Richie Coy, starting second. Number 99, Danny LaFleur, starting third. We've got number 06, Daniel Simmons, starting fourth. 01, Nathan Biggert, starting fifth. Then we got the 48, Jamie Knopp, starting sixth. The 31 of Jeff Chandler, starting seventh. Joshua Johnson, who had a pretty good run last week too, and he's in the top 10 for already. 57, Joshua Johnson, number 8. And then we got Matthew Vacon, 26. He's starting ninth. And then our 10th place is Kyle Milken, number 42.
Yeah, I was just trying to get our ticker. Anyway, starting 11th, there's going to be the 67 of James Wallace. To his outside is the 8 of Lane Allen. Starting 13th is Dave Nestor, and then 36 for Elevated. And in the actually, I got that wrong. 13th is TJ Mortel. 14th is Sherwood Williford. 15th is going to be the 47 of Ryan Hedrick, and Brian Dublay's teammate's going to be on the outside of him in the 37. Wayne Grassi, Alan Duranco, James Torrey, the 10 of Colton Gum, Alan Crowell, and Lane Allen dropping to the rear is going to be the conclusion of your starting lineup.
I don't recall why Lane is dropping to the rear. Unless he had a pit road.
Maybe he dropped out. Unless he dropped out. He's still on pit road, unfortunately. But these guys have already come out of pit road, catching up with the pace car, starting to line up. They're getting ready to go green here at Pocono. Again, the nerves have got to be... I mean, the restarts are always crazy here at this track. But luckily with Nicholas Moreau, he's got a teammate behind him in third. Those similar-looking cars from the Transit team.
Yes, the blue and black combination on those Transit cars. I know they be nice if there was a little differentiation besides just the number on them. But yeah, he should be good on the inside at least to hold it down there. And I don't know. I'd be curious to see 10th place and beyond. Anybody in the back maybe trying to fan out, just try to make it a little interesting. Although being turn one, lap one, it's probably not the best idea to do it, but we'll see what happens.
Now, keep in mind too, we had fireworks between the 17 and the 19 and the 99 last week at Chicagoland. Actually, that was the 99 and the 31. So we'll see how things go here. The pace car's off. They're approaching the restart zone. Green flag is out, and we're underway here at Pocono Raceway.
And Nicholas gets out to a good jump. Richie kind of looked like he kind of almost was sleeping a bit, but they're just slowly working his way up to his door now.
And they charge off in a turn one, 3 wide already in the turn one. Looks like Daniel got a little loose there. That's going to lose him some momentum and lose. Actually, he's in the wall, and his teammate, the 48 behind him, not the start that those two wanted. Kind of wiggling off in the turn one. He does save it, though, and he keeps going.
Yeah, they both look like a little leg tap, but it was, definitely, why'd you follow me into that wall there? And it happens, and sadly it happens on lap one, but they didn't look like they got too much damage out of it, so they might be all right. It looked like we did have somebody else having a little bit of an issue, and actually 77.
Nicholas Monroe, yeah.
I'll have to go back and see what happened with him.
Yeah, let's go back and look and see if we can see what happens coming off. He just drops off the pace and down on the short chute, down and lets these guys go.
Yeah, that's kind of odd. And you almost wonder, and I mean, and not to put a hex on anybody, but sometimes you forget to put your race set in. And some of these guys might be on a queue set still, and then they're like, oh crap, what do I do? And you kind of got to baby the car at that point. Just hold out to the stage.
That is a good point. I wonder if that's the case, because he's down to 10th spot right now. So interesting. We'll keep a check on that, see if we can find out what happened. Right now, Richie Coy, your leader. Danny LaFleur in second. Nathan Biggert moved up to P3. And all these guys are kind of single filed. The top five have kind of single filed out and kind of started to pull away from sixth on back.
And because a lot of that, I mean, you got Jeff Chandler in fourth, Joshua Johnson in fifth, and Kyle Milken in sixth. These guys already gained like 3-4 spots.
I tell you,
just within the first 3 laps.
Another good qualifying effort and good race pace, it looks like, so far for the 57. Joshua Johnson, you got Kyle Milken up there in the top 10. Those two have done really good as of late as far as their qualifying efforts, and they find themselves up front, out of danger. If they can just stay up there, they can have a good race.
If nothing else, get those stage points. I mean, we still got a long ways to go for the stage, but yeah, I mean, definitely. It always helps your confidence too when you're running up front. You know you can get your car up there, and if you can hang with them and longer, you can hang with them and keep the car clean. It's good for confidence building, and it just shows what you're made of.
Battle for second place going on for now a lap. Side by side now, Jeff decides to pull back in the line behind the 99. They've lost a lot of time to Richie by doing that. We saw that yesterday, I guess, in the Cup race as well. We saw when they get side by side like that, you lose a lot of time to the guys in front. And honestly, the guys behind too, they get a run, and then they start making it 2 and 3 and 4 wide. It gets crazy.
Yeah, in some of these corners too, like especially turn 2, it's really tough to be side by side with, because there's that preferred line just to make the most speed through it. And then, you start boggling up the guys behind you. Yeah, the guys in front of you start running away from you. But everybody looks like they're doing a pretty good job though out there for right now. We got one car that is double file. Looks like Jeff Chandler and Nathan Biggert right now. It looks like Chandler's kind of working on Nathan Biggert on the outside. Those are the only people that are door to door right now.
And now you got a battle forming up back there behind him as well. But now side by side, Kulos coming off turn 1. The 01 of Biggert, the 31 of Chandler side by side, and Chandler is going to make that pass and allow the 57 of Joshua Johnson to start looking to the outside of Nathan Biggert.
Yeah, and I didn't get a chance to actually talk to really much of the Fury guys today to see see how their car's feeling. I know they've been doing a lot of practicing, but they're both looking pretty strong tonight. And Nathan Biggert as well. And I'm gonna give the hats off to Josh Johnson, just in there in 5th right now, just holding his line, making it work.
And Kyle Milliken looking to the inside of the 06. That's Daniel Simmons. That is for 6th spot.
And we still don't know how much damage the 06 and the 48 of Jamie Knock have got from that little wall rub. But it definitely did hurt them position-wise. But we'll see if they've got enough to make it back towards this end of the stage run here.
They're close again to that wall coming off the corner. I mean, they're using every bit of asphalt, and you kind of have to do that here. But it's risky early on. But it doesn't look like they've hurt them speed-wise. Here goes the 48 of Jamie Knopf on the outside of the 42.
Yeah,
That's
he's
an
definitely
interesting
getting a
move.
run. Yeah, I know. I was watching that as I was kind of watching too. Nathan Bigger just going into two right there. He was on Jeff Chandler's rear bumper, and I don't know if Danny LaFleur just were slowing down, and they all had to make a checkup or whatnot. But yeah, it was going to get a little spicy there for a second.
Now the 57 of Johnson goes after the 0-1 of Nathan Biggert to the inside, tries to pull away, keep that side drive from happening for him. Into turn one, and just cannot hold the car down enough. It looks like the 0-1 of Biggert's going to have the run off the corner.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Josh Johnson has succumbed to the 06 of Daniel Simmons, and it looks like he might, Jamie Knock might get by him now as well.
That's the freight train effect.
The freight train, yes, for sure. And I've been on the bad side of that as well, and it's not very fun. But that turn one, I mean, it's one of those things where you really got to set yourself up. It's hard to make a pass on the inside just because it's so tighter, and the corner does get tighter. So that that momentum on the outside is really always going to prevail in turn one, unless you got brand new fresh tires and you can really get some speed and kind of make that undercut work.
There's TJ Bartell creeping up on the back bumper, the 42 of Milliken for 8th spot. And then you got Nicholas Moreau back here running in 10th, just riding around.
Yeah, and I'm kind of curious about what's happening with that. I mean, he definitely did. I mean, it wasn't that he got loose or anything. He definitely just kind of pulled off the side and let the crowd by, basically. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, he hasn't blown up yet. So, in these cars, even though if you had Q set in, it wouldn't blow up. But, maybe it's going to affect your tires. The car might not handle decent over a long run. Yeah, so maybe he's just testing it out, waiting for that stage so he can maybe tune on it a little bit.
Here's a note, too. Looks like Wayne Grossi has taken his car to the garage. He is out of the race already. So, I don't know if we missed something with him or...
Yeah, he's showing 3 laps down, so he did it a couple laps ago.
It's showing that the 7 crashed. Let's see what this crash entails here.
And I'm looking back, too, at Lane Allen. He did finally get back on the track. He's out there. He's hasn't gone a lap down yet. At least that's the fortunate thing about this track. The laps are so long. You probably can take a pit and won't go a lap down, even under green. So it's not too bad. Lane's just out there running. He'll get his lap back or he'll at least catch up when that stage caution flies. And yeah, maybe he had to take a squirt before the race or get a drink or something. You never know. Missed that start.
Wayne looked like he had connection issues, and then just disconnected. So it was like computer issues for the 7. You got.
I have storms in my area, so yeah, it just could be.
Could be, for sure. There you go. Fury Motorsports 1-2, 19 of Richie Coy and the 31 of Jeff Chandler. Nathan Biggert in 3rd. Daniel Simmons now in 4th. Battle for 5th is the 48 and the 99. And Danny LaFleur going backwards. The 48 falls back in line, but the 99's fallen to 5th from 2nd.
Yeah, he's been slowly losing a little ground, the 99, and, maybe he put it in regular setup in, and either that or they're both kind of laying back, letting everybody go and burn up their stuff. Maybe him and his teammate Nicholas know something that the rest of us don't know. But I'm looking at lap times too. Jeff Chandler is slowly turning a little bit quicker lap times than Richie Coy, so he's on a mission there to catch his teammate.
I know there's some insight we probably have that some people don't, but actually there comes Wayne Grossi back out of the pit, so looks like whatever issue he had, he got fixed. But Jeff has been having some issues lately and finally found his issue being his pedals. He wasn't getting 100% on his throttle pedal. He's wondering why he was getting blown by in trucks. He finally figured that out. Like he's putting those pedals to good use right now, starting to inch in on the 19 of Coy, trying to get this lead. But I know he was very excited to be able to find an issue and find a reason to why he's fallen off the pace as of recent.
And it's unfortunate because it's one of those issues that you really don't think about looking at, and then you're like, oh, wait a minute. Well, it's the most obvious reason. Yeah, if you're not getting a full pedal to press or full throttle input with your throttle pedal, then it's not a good thing.
Yeah, I wish that was my issue. I wish it was that easy to fix.
Well, I know with the pedals that I've made, it's just yeah, you got to work out those bugs and get it dialed in. And yeah, good thing he did find it. He's definitely showing it tonight. And like I say, he's still turning a little bit quicker lap times than Richie. I don't know if he'll be able to get there. I mean, well, he's still got about another 13 laps to the stage, so yeah, he might be able to catch him by then. He is slowly working on him. He's down about 9/10 off the leader right now.
I'll tell you that outside of the top 10, things have kind of gotten spread out back here. We've got two cars, then two cars, then a single car. They've kind of given themselves a lot of space to work with as they work lap 12. Again, we're waiting to get to lap 25 for the stage caution.
Yeah, and I'm watching Nicholas Moreau now. He's slowly, I mean, he's worked his way back up to 8th right now, and he's slowly kind of working on Jamie Knopp right now. I don't know. It's still kind of, maybe he just was bored.
Puzzling. Yeah, it's intriguing. That's why I wonder if he wanted to pass some cars.
Right.
He's won the last 2 weeks. He's like, let me pull back here and do some passing. Maybe I don't think that's the case with Nick, but it was just really weird that he just pulled off like that. Got me scratching my head for sure, but he's on the march again.
Yeah, and two, this should be around the time. I know that from what I looked at as far as fuel goes, they can go at least 50 laps on fuel. So after the stage, we should only see obviously one green flag stop if it does stay green. And yeah, I'm just wondering where the tires are starting to fall off. I mean, we're already 14, almost 15 laps in. So I mean, you're going to start getting a little bit of fall off, and then we're going to start seeing some of these tire misers work their way up. Like a Sherwood Williford, like a TJ Bartell, and we'll see what happens.
Which TJ is currently hanging in 9th right now as well. So I mean,
he's been slowly creeping. Yeah, it doesn't look like he's saving too much, but the way he drives, he always has that way to find that extra tire in the bank kind of a thing. He's got rubber in the bank, I guess.
Yeah, I would rather have money in the bank, but rubber's good too. I've never been one to be able to save any of these tires, but yeah, and talking to the drivers, they say that they can tell a difference one lap to the next. As far as the tire fall off here. I mean, the laps are so long, you can really find a difference from one lap to the next. You see the 48 Knopf finally able to get around Joshua Johnson for 6th. Knopf has kind of dropped back.
Yeah, he has slightly, and I know the 77 of Nicholas was just pushing Knopf basically almost past Joshua Johnson there for a minute. So Nicholas, I believe, has got some speed, and he just kind of laying back maybe. I'm just waiting for him to make his move.
Don't look now, but we got a battle warming up for the lead. The 31 of Chandler has finally caught the 19 of Coy. They've kind of inched their way in, and now he's on the back bumper. I know Jeff was really excited to get to this track. This is one of his favorite tracks, he says. He's got 3 of his favorite tracks lined up.
This is his season, he did say, yes.
Yeah, it's got, Pocono, then Indy, then I think, what is that, Richmond next?
Maybe.
Or no, Auto Club.
Yeah, Auto Club.
So 3 of his favorite tracks coming up, and he's starting to shine here. It says him, Nathan Biggert, and the 06 of Daniel Simmons have all run down the leader, and now he's going to have to find a way by.
Well, you almost wonder, too, was Richie just kind of he gets out to that lead, he sees a lot of guys drop out, he just kind of just misering his tires a little bit, just kind of waiting, and we'll see if he puts on the afterburner and tries to stay in front of these guys. But they are coming otherwise.
Here he goes, 31 looking to the inside of the 19 for the lead. Turn 3.
And being teammates, they're going to race each other pretty nice. And I don't know, the purple on the silver looks really good to me, side by side like that.
Which car do you see as purple?
Richie's car is in the Victory Fuel purple car. At least that's what I see.
Yeah, I see the red one for some reason.
And then I see, Jeff to me is in the silver car. I know, I'm watching the stream too. And actually, that did not work out good for Jeff.
He didn't. He got freight trained. Well, only one car, but he got passed by the Illinois Biggert. Now Biggert's going to put pressure on the 19 of Coy.
Yeah, let's see what Nathan can do here. Like I say, I almost wonder if Richie was just kind of maybe saving a little bit too. I mean, he was able to, stay in there, hold Jeff off, And you get tight on the inside. Unfortunately, Jeff lost that spot, but I'm sure he'll get that sucker right back.
Well, all four now, five of these guys, as Danny LaFleur closes up, have kind of broken away from the rest of the pack. But all these guys look look really fast. And honestly, the four of them that run down Coy look faster than Coy himself. So I don't know if he's saving something or not. But you probably don't want to let those guys back in your draft like that.
Well, yeah, and I mean, all five of them are within a second or half a second actually. So I mean, anything can happen. Looks like Richie's going to get a little nudge from Nate, and it's going to bring Jeff Chandler up there. I mean, the close rate too on the draft is great. So I mean, Richie does have the disadvantage to that, but does he got enough of that clean air to stay out in front?
Almost got to run that. A little like Pocono down the long pond straightaway.
Yeah. It's actually pretty good racing, especially the top five like this. What do we got? A little 6-7 laps left to go until we get the stage.
Yeah, and running sixth is Nicholas Moreau and Jamie Knopf right there. Sixth and seventh have kind of broken away from that other pack as well. So Nick's starting to rebound and come towards the front.
Well, I think this is going to be the time too to see what kind of car Nick's got, because he's a little bit far back to actually pick up the draft. But let's see if he's got enough legs in that car. Maybe he did save a little bit. Maybe he wasn't running a Q set after all and just wanted to pass some cars.
Bigger being really patient here. I think patient is the word, but he's pushing the 19 down the straights instead of pulling out the passes. You see the 31 is Chandler going for a pass on the inside. But it was really interesting to see him doing that instead of trying to make the pass. Probably just trying to get a gap so that he can make the pass without being freight trained.
Yeah, and then Jeff goes right by him on the inside pretty easy. Now Nate looks like he's giving Jeff a little bit of a shove. So yeah, it's a interesting strategy there as far as from what I'm watching. It's kind of I'm kind of surprised Nate just doesn't want to try and stick his nose out there and try to make that pass. He's obviously could reach the bumper, so the next step is to move out of the way and make that pass start.
Yeah, you got a 5-car pack and a 2-car pack, and then it looks like a 3-car pack back there with Kyle Milliken, Joshua Johnson, TJ Bartell.
And I am watching Nicholas too. I'm kind of keeping a third eye on him, and he's starting to make a little time up on that leaders of the 5. But a lot of that too could be the pace that Richie's kind of holding these guys back. I think if some of these guys could get in front of Richie at this point, I think they might start walking on Richie. I know that's not what he wants to see, but he's got to go, man. If he wants to keep that spot.
31's got to run now. Yeah, he's going to look to the outside now in turn 1. Got a good push from the 01 of Nate. Nate pushes him right by. So the 31, Jeff Chandler, to the point. Now the 01 looking to the outside of the 19.
Yeah, well, that was pretty well done by them. They put Richie on the inside. Richie just you don't have the momentum on that inside, and I'm sure Richie didn't want to get freight trained on the outside too, but he doesn't mind seeing his leader, or his buddy, teammate go out on the outside, at least take that top spot, just to keep Nate second. I'm pretty sure that's all they're talking about.
I tell you, we're gonna have to work on that car when he gets it back too, because that back bumper's been wore out. The 99 gave him a push down the straightaway as well, so we'll have to check for some damage there on the back of the 19. But yeah, Jeff Chandler takes the lead. It's going to lead this lap. Finally gets out front. Bigger chasing him down, and now the Coy, the Richie Coy machine drops to third.
And all this has happened when Nicholas Moreau has gained about 0.4 on that lead pack. So he does got the legs, and he is slightly getting there. Will he make it there by? Danny LaFleur just hits the wall, and I was going to say, will he make it to the top 5 after that hit? He might actually get it, because he's got about 3 laps to go to maybe even catch his teammate for that fifth spot.
I think it's 2 or 3 kind of smacked that wall coming off turn 1 all together.
I saw Danny.
The handling's starting to go away for some of these cars now. Nicholas Moreau closes in on Daniel Simmons, but you're right. Nicholas he was the second half the last time by. Behind their leader. He's now 1.3 seconds back, so he's cut down time even more and is making passes.
Yep, He's actually working on fifth place right now, and it looks like he's going to get that pass done after this corner here, going into turn 2.
Interesting. Lap 23 of 20 of 100. Lap 25 is our stage caution. And these guys going to be racing to the stage. You'll see what Nicholas Moreau, the 19 of Coy, the 31. Now you see Coy looking on the inside of the 01. It's going to kind of thwart his efforts, and he backs back in line.
I always found turn 2 is just, you always want to take that single file. I think anytime you try to get side by side there, it's almost too risky. And it looked like Richie kind of felt the same. He backed up a little bit, maybe try to make that run here on turn 3.
I got to tell you, man, we just had somebody hit the pits. The 57 of Joshua Johnson gave up his stage points, comes to the pit road, goes that alternate strategy of getting that track position when the caution comes out. I like it. That's going to put him up front. He doesn't lose a lap. He's exiting turn 1. That is a interesting but a good call. I like it. I mean, like I said, it's going to give him track position, and we can see what he does out front here.
Yeah, that is a pretty good call, and it's kind of surprising too. We don't see more guys actually do that within the league, because in real life they do it quite often, and hopefully that pays off for Josh.
Well, I think it comes down to the tire too, though. Again, with this tire, with iRacing's tire, there are some struggles that we deal with that other people, that the real guys, do not. So that tire fall off's a little bit different. I mean, you get the tires, new tires are just, there's so many different intricacies. I like the call for the 57. It's going to put him in a better position. But knowing the tire the way it is, I don't know that that's a, we'll see, because they still have to make another pit stop. So it may give him some track position.
Right. And with only 3 corners, and you can kind of baby them corners. He can maybe kind of save them tires these next couple of laps. He knows he's going to be staying on anyway. He's not going to go a lap down. So, I mean, if you're going to do it at certain tracks, this is probably a better than some of the other tracks to do it at. So, let's we'll definitely keep an eye on him as this race goes on.
They're on the final lap of the stage. The 01 looked to the outside of 1, couldn't do it. Man, these guys are, we've seen racing there. Now the 01's going to look on the inside. 31's going to hang on the outside, see if he can get a run off the corner here. Beat him to the line. 31 does have a run. Coming to the line, it's going to be the 31 of Chandler, holding off the charge of the 01 of Biggert. 19 of Coy. 77 Moreau finishes 4th. And back up to 4th, and Danny LaFleur is your top 5 for the stage.
Wow. Yeah, it was pretty good run there at the end there. Almost thought Nate was going to have it, but Jeff had that outside line, especially on 3. 3 is one of those corners, though, too. Sometimes that inside can't prevail. Sometimes the momentum on the outside doesn't always give you that advantage, depending on how good you can get into that arc and get off the corner. And Jeff took it. I don't know if that's maybe a second stage win this year. I'm sure he's probably very happy about it, though.
I think he won a stage last week as well, so we'll see if he can finish the race better, because I know Chicagoland kind of, no, actually he did not. He didn't win a stage. Maybe a week or two ago. He has, I know he's won a stage recently, but maybe he can, this can vault him to a good finish. I know he's struggled recently, but this is what you want. I mean, he's up front. Was able to hold off. Again, the charge for Nate, that was pretty cool. It is so hard to pass, and you see it out there. I mean, he gets the inside. He was trying to figure out where Nate was going to go. Gave him the inside, stayed on the outside, gassed it up, and was able to take on the stage. So that was some pretty good racing there. And I think we can put to bed any of the issues we thought that Nicholas Moreau had. He was coming at the end. He finished 4th there.
Yes, I'm going to kind of agree with you there, and I don't foreseeably see him backing it off a little bit later on now. I think he's going to, we're going to just see him out there racing. He's going to try and maybe go for his 4th in a row.
Let's see if Danny LaFleur falls out of the top 5 here, too, because he's hit the wall a couple times. He bounced off the wall a couple times, and I'm sure he's got a little bit of damage. See if he takes the time to fix it, and if so, if that costs him some track position, some valuable track position.
Well, yes, and I'm looking a little bit behind him with the 06 and the 48 of Daniel Simmons and Jamie Knopp, respectively, and they're going to get a little bit of their damage fixed as well, and hopefully they could get back up here in this mix. I mean, it looked like they struggled with it within the first 25 laps here, and maybe they'll get the form. Although they're going to have one car they're going to have to pass now too. They're going to have Joshua Johnson. He's going to be leading this pack when we get to green. I'm assuming Joshua Johnson. If it all worked out the way he planned.
They come on pit road. All the drivers hitting pit road except for that 57 of Johnson. We talked about him. He's playing that strategy, getting that track position. He's going to go to P1 here.
And I mean, if nothing else, it's a good, hey, you're going to get a point in the pit road, or you're going to get a leading point, which is good. So I can't speak, but at least you get a little bit of strategy. Every little point counts, and let's see. Hopefully, you can make something out of it too.
Coming up pit road, it looks like it's going to be 31 of Chandler holding serve, Biggert second, Coy third, Barreau fourth, and Daniel LaFleur fifth coming off pit road.
Yeah, the only two that looked like really did change any spots was Danny and Nicholas, two teammates, but everybody looked pretty good coming off of pit road.
So that was the first interesting first stage. Like I said, we saw a lot of passing, a lot of people pushing each other down the straightaways and all. Jeff Chandler comes home with the win for stage number one, actually the only stage. And now Joshua Johnson's going to take over the lead, so he's going to have lane choice. Where do you want to line up here? We've heard a lot of people talk about different strategies on the lineup here on the front row. The inside you can block to the out. If you line up inside, you can kind of block to the inside. You got the car to the outside. And, a lot of guys like to control like that. But the car on the outside seems like off turn one, especially, you can get a really good run on the outside off of turn one and down into the tunnel turn.
Well, especially too, on a green flag start, you haven't made that full run, full throttle run down the front straightaways. So when you do get to turn one after a green flag, you're not hitting that top speed, so you can really almost just pin it throughout that whole corner. So yeah, the outside momentum definitely would help you, I would think. I mean, it really does vary from track to track, but yeah, if I was on the front row, I'd be on the outside. Not to mention too, if you're looking to try and save tires, being on the outside is probably not a bad spot to be. Let a couple guys go, like we saw Nicholas did a little earlier. That's kind of my thing, just kind of save tires, and that's kind of what this iRacing has become. But yeah, I don't know. It looks like Joshua's going to stay on the inside though, so we'll see how he does.
Yeah, Wayne Grassi is going to be your lucky dog. Get one of his laps back. Not sure how many he's showing down right now.
I'm showing him at 4 right now, but yeah, he's been in and out, and he must be having either computer connection issues, and I think he's on an R&D mission at this point, just trying to figure out what's going on with his stuff.
Yeah, he's definitely having some technical issues. Did not have a great run in the trucks either the other night, unfortunately. Been a rough week. We talk about how tough this track is. Guess it's tough on equipment too. He's having some issues tonight.
Well, just our rigs and our computers and internet connections. That's basically our car. That's our body, and we're the pit crew for it. And individually, everybody's their own pit crew for their own stuff, and that's kind of our way of dealing with it. In the sim world. But yeah, hopefully he gets the stuff squared away, and it's nothing too. He's out there, so I mean, it can't be that bad and devastating. There's always that I can't connect, or the car won't even steer, or the pedals don't work at all, and it's just there's so many issues that could go wrong.
Absolutely. Yeah, they are doubled up to turn 3. Yeah, you see on the sign on the wall there, what, turn 4? Yeah, there's 3 turns here. So off turn 3, pace car pulls off. We're getting ready to go again with the 57 of Johnson with the alternate strategy. The 31 of Chandler leading the outside. Green flag's out, and we are back underway here, racing to lap 100 here at Pocono.
It didn't look like Josh got a great of a start as well as Jeff did. Jeff kind of is already on his door right now going into turn 1. And, yeah, that outside line prevails. Richie Coy, his teammate, is looking to get second away from Josh Johnson already.
Caution, caution, caution. Alan Duranco around in turn 1. We'll see what happened here. Going into turn one, they are. Well, he's by himself on the outside there. Oh, you know what? That's that snap loose that I was worried about. Some of the guys you saw Daniel Simmons on the start have that issue going into turn one. That thing just went into turn one and it just snapped on him. If you watch him go into turn one here, gets loose, tries to correct it, and it just snaps right into the wall, head on collision in the wall. That is a tough hit at the speeds they're going as well. Yeah. So, yeah, that'll be the end of his night. That's tough, man. But I was worried that we were going to see more of that going into this turn one, especially on these cold tires.
It's so weird how the car does that too, and it's you know, it's almost like watching some of those, you know, Mustang videos when you see them wipe out, you know, in a crowd of people or whatnot. But yeah, it just, the car has that pendulum swing, and once it starts going the one way, it just instantly shoots that other direction. And yeah, we almost see it like every week, and you know, just about every driver probably experiences it even in practice as well. And it's just, you know, it's unfortunate, and I don't understand it. I don't know how to fight it. It's what we got to deal with.
So these guys had to come back around and take the caution, and now they're catching the pace car. One of the unique things here is how long this track is. If an issue happens in turn one and the caution comes out, it takes forever to catch back up to the pace car. These guys are doing that right now. Even, you know, before they're actually, I think pit road was open there.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how many people might actually be coming in for a pit. By the time we go back to green, it's probably going to be like lap 34, maybe even lap 35. So they're definitely going to have to pit once more.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming it's going to be, you know, probably anywhere from like lap 65 to 70, somewhere in that range.
Let's go back and look at that again with Alan Duranco. We'll go on board with it. I want to see. Going into turn one. Loose, and it just snaps on him right into the wall. Hood off. Day done.
And it's what's sad is too, it didn't look like he was, you know, he wasn't drifting. I mean, he had a slight, you know, looseness to him.
Yeah.
Right. And it wasn't heavy, but the snapback is what kills you. And it's like, why? Why does it do that? I mean, you know, it looks almost savable to a point. And when you're in the car, it feels like, oh, yeah, it's no big deal. I can save it. And then just instantly it shoots to the other direction. You're just a passenger at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, it's annoying from a driver standpoint. It absolutely is annoying. And one guy's not too annoyed is the 7 of Wayne Grouse. He gets another one of his laps back here. So I would have put him three back, 2 back.
Yeah, he should be back down to 3 now. So maybe if he got his stuff sorted out, you know, with a couple more of these, he'll be back in the mix of us. But going back to the lead, Jeff Chandler did clear Josh Johnson, so he did get his spot back. Or at least he'll be leading the field, Jeff Chandler, that is. And we got Josh Johnson, Richie Coy, Nate Biggert, Nicholas Monroe. Or no, Danny LaFleur is still ahead of Nicholas Monroe. And then Kyle Milliken is in 7th, followed by Daniel Simmons, James Wallace, who's somebody we haven't talked about yet. He snuck his way up into the top 10. So he's always another guy too you got to look out for down the road. He's good at tire mising, and you know, he's like the Kevin Harvick. He kind of sneaks up at the end. It's like, where did he come from?
He is kind of sneaky, that's for sure. It's funny you mentioned that. I was thinking too, Kyle Milliken had a great run in trucks. I got to give him a shout out. Finished P3 in trucks. Had a really incredible showing in the truck series here earlier this week. So congrats to him, and having another solid run here tonight. Currently in P7. I guess he likes. We know he likes Indy. Remember, he made his first Cup start here at FTSR at Indianapolis and ended up taking on to victory. So this track's been compared to Indianapolis, and I guess he likes both of them.
Yeah, well, you could tell when a driver, likes the track, because they tend to actually do good in most of the races we do. And Kyle usually has a hit or miss race. You know, either he's up there in front contending or he's wrecked early and out. And it's good to see him up here in top 10, and he's been in top 10 pretty much the whole night. So keep it up, man.
Looks like James Torrey was the only one to come in and top off in the 6, so gives him a little bit more fuel when we do get back going. That's one thing we got to remember too. The 57 of Joshua Johnson, who is now on the outside, is going to have a little less fuel than some of these guys, so he's going to have to pit a little bit earlier if they run it all the way out.
True, true. But I believe they all had a good, 10 lap to almost 15 lap window of when they could have pitted. So, I mean, it's the way the pit strategy works. I mean, like I say, they should be coming in anywhere from, say, 60 to 75. I would say we're going to see the whole field come in. If it stays green, we'll see what happens. Hopefully we won't get any more cautions here.
Well, that's another thing. This track is so big, you can make those pit stops and not lose a lap. So it changes things a little bit. But the pace car is off. We're waiting for the green flag. Green is out, and we're back underway here at Pocono.
Josh Johnson's looked like he did have a little bit better run that, and he's going to have that outside. Let's see if Nate Biggert will give him a little bit of push, get him into turn 2. He's still door to door with Richie Coy, but he's got a nose on him at this point.
Everybody kind of gets things sorted out as we head down Long Pond straightaway into turn 2, the tunnel turn. Richie Coy still side by side with the 99 at LaFleur.
Yeah, Richie was kind of the big loser on that a little bit, lost a spot. And Nate got that advantage. It looks like Richie's going to go down to Danny LaFleur. It's tough. I know Richie probably wants to get in line. He's kind of on the lower line right now, but he probably wants to get up. If that opens up for him, I think he's taking it.
I think he was on the inside of Nate and decided to fall back in line there. So, and now you got the two Transit Chevrolets working together, the 99 LaFleur and 77 of Nicholas Moreau, coming right back up to the back bumper of the 19. Everybody back together as they head back into turn 1.
And I'm watching James Wallace. We were talking about him a little earlier. He is on Kyle Milliken's bumper right now, and Richie is going down to the two Transit guys. He lost 2, and it looks like he's door to door with Kyle Milliken now.
Yeah, it's they got to the outside coming out of turn 1 and just pushed right by him. Now the 42 going by him. Now James Wallace looking to the outside. It looks like Richie's going to fall back in line there, but loses a lot of spots, falls back to P7.
Yeah, he was able to get back in line before James Wallace got to him, but maybe he might be just been laying back a little bit. Maybe he didn't save enough tire on the first run, and he kind of learned by his mistake and just kind of relaxing a little bit, letting it come to him later on here.
See what happens in turn 1 here. You got Nicholas Moreau and Danny LaFleur side by side. Kyle Milliken decides to stay up high. The 19 of Coy. Oh, the 42 gets loose under the 99 LaFleur. Hangs on to it, but loses momentum. The 19 of Coy is going to look back inside here.
Yeah, and Richie is just stuck on the inside. He's kind of just wants to get in line, it looks like, and he just keeps putting into that inside spot, and people are just going by him.
It is so hard to pass here, and you try to, it's so tempting to pull to the inside and try to make that pass, but especially early on, you just get freight trained.
Yeah, it's not a good, it's definitely not a good feeling, but sometimes it happens. You get stuff down there for whatever reason. You got to make an evasive maneuver depending on what's going on in front of you, and unfortunately, that's just how it is. But I'm watching Josh Johnson. He has not lost too much to Jeff Chandler, but Jeff Chandler is, moving along really good. But Josh is hanging right in there with him. And Nate Biggert, is about 0.3 off of Johnson right now. So, yeah, the three of them they're kind of moving along.
So far, so good for the 57. Yeah, you got that track position, able to hang in P2. So that's exactly what you want. Kind of put you, and you see, who's that? Was that Nicholas Moreau? Bounced off the wall. Yes. Bounced off the wall hard coming out of turn 2. And
we've seen that happen to him a few times in the past, but
that was a hard hit. That was a big lick, and that's got to do some damage to the car because he hit that thing a ton.
Yeah, and with this car too, you don't know if it's going to be an 8-minute repair or if it's going to be 12 seconds of repair. And it usually takes about 1 or 2 laps to kind of shake the car around just to make sure that is it destroyed or not. But they are both. They got Kyle on the inside right now, and Kyle's just kind of losing the spot now to Richie.
See if we go back to the tunnel turn here. All right, that's off turn 1. Let's watch with Nicholas Moreau here once again coming through the tunnel turn. Down into turn 1, he was right behind the 01 of Biggert, and I don't know if he missed his sight lines or what, Goes into turn one, off of turn two. Yeah, that was a pretty big lick, but I think he was just in the wake of the 0-1 there, and it caused some issues.
Well, yeah, and I don't remember if you're really that close on to the back bumper. I know it's only been a couple of weeks, but I don't remember if you do get that front nose wash off where it just wants to, where you lose all front downforce and it just kind of throws you into the wall and screws you up. Sometimes just having the sight line of the guy in front of you, you miss your mark and you just don't turn in like you're supposed to, and you don't realize the corner's where it's at. You get a little lost out here too. It's a long lap, so it's sometimes you're looking at the same scenery over and over.
Looking at Sherwood Williford back here with Brian Dublé, Matthew Vacon, Colton Gum, some of these guys back here. Ryan Hedrick. Just trying to find their way, Sherwood's another one. Hadn't had a great week here at Pocono. Kind of struggled a little bit here. Again, he's one of those guys, as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, he might be one of the guys that says, Pocono, when he sees it on the schedule.
Yes. There was a time I used to say that myself. And like I say, I genuinely like the track just because of the uniqueness of it, but it's kind of hit or miss. And, sometimes it's a lot of fun and sometimes it's just very nasty. But, yeah, it's kind of unfortunate to see Sherwood running back there in the 14th, but, I'm sure he's getting there. He'll figure it out. Sometimes too with Sherwood, some of these longer runs, tire runs, he could come out on top or at least gain some more spots with just some of his saving methods.
Yeah, we got a long way to go. We got 60 laps to go. 40 laps complete so far in this 100-lap event, the Pocono 250. And I will say, again, props to the 57. He's making those tires work, man. He's still P2. Might be losing a position here shortly to the 01 and the 77 as they get run down the straightaway. You see James Torrey back in pits as well. Interesting. What if he had an issue?
Yeah, that's kind of odd. I'm looking at Jeff Chandler though. I mean, he's running out. He's got a great lead right now, and he was pretty strong in that first run. I mean, did some of these other guys then he got, Jeff took a little while to actually get that lead.
Yeah.
Now that he's got the lead, he's kind of sailing away. Now, does some of these other cars, does he got the car to keep that thing out there? I mean, we saw Richie earlier. Richie didn't. Will Jeff be able to do that? Will some of these guys start actually catching them?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Jeff's car kind of came on late in the run, and Richie's was the opposite. He took off early and kind of fell back. So now with somebody out front that's got a good long run car, is he going to continue to stretch the interval, or is somebody going to be able to run him down? Somebody like the 01 and the 77, who were both good on the really long run. Of course, the 77 is. I'm still surprised that he's still running out here with that smack against the wall he had. But apparently they have some pretty good strong parts there at Monroe Motorsports. Was able to hang on to it.
Yeah, and he's still running decent laps, staying up there in fourth place right now. And I can tell you right now, Nate Biggert wants to get by Josh Johnson, and Jeff Chandler's looking in that mirror, and he's saying, "Stay there as long as you possibly stay there, Josh. Let me just keep extending this lead out." Not saying that Josh is really holding him up. I mean, Josh is still running pretty good, but we know he's got a little bit older tires, and it's a little bit harder for him to probably maintain, the speed that he'd like to, or at least the competitive speed. But he's still running in second, and it's great track position for him. And you get another caution in a couple laps, or even when you get to green flag stops. I mean, it could all equalize for Josh. I mean, he's definitely looking at a top 5 right now if he stays where he's at.
Actually looking at this, they're actually doing a better job of catching Jeff Chandler staying in line than I think they would have if Nate would have pulled out. You've seen Nate pull up on the back of other cars and just stay there and push. I think I'm understanding what he's doing now, because it's honestly working out. It doesn't really matter who you've got in front of you. You can push the guy in front of you and make up time. He's just wanting to push the 57 up there. As I say that, it looks like they lose a little ground off turn 3, but he's just staying in line and pushing, trying to use that draft and catch up to Jeff.
And it's kind of hard. It's kind of surprising to even be talking about bump drafting here at Pocono, but yeah.
Yeah.
we got a few guys out there that are actually probably doing it, and hey, kudos to them. It's working out.
Danny LaFleur in the wall back there, smacking the wall off turn one again. Again, those transit cars, man, they must be built pretty tough because you see you see them using every bit of the track and then some.
They've got those extra bumpers put on there. I thought actually Kyle Milka was going to get by him there too after that smack, but he couldn't make it work. Just you get stuck on that inside. You just can't make that thing work.
Biggert finally got to the outside of the 57 of Johnson. Now it's a freight train. The 77 Moreau goes by. The 19 of Coy goes by. He finally finds a spot in line, but here goes the 99 of Danny LaFleur to go to the outside of Joshua Johnson. I tell you what, it's like you open the floodgates, and everybody, all the drivers out there are vultures, man. They see an opening, they're going to go for it.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely not, and it's frustration too. You're running second, and then next time you look up, you're in eighth, and it's like, what the hell happened?
But I still feel like that was the right call because he's about where he was running when he came to pits for the stage. So
true, and and hey, it's
you
got a long race. You do.
I like I said, I applaud people trying something different. I've always been kind of a contrarian myself on the track. I'm the one trying to make two stops work when a one stopper is on the table. Never, hardly ever works out.
But you got to try it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that there's not more options out there. But I've always, you always want to try something different. If nothing else, it's a science experiment. If it works, then you look like a genius. I mean, so it's worth a shot. But yeah, unfortunately, there's not much of an option there for a different strategy. As you see, the 77 Moreau trying to hold off the 19 of Richie Coy.
Yeah, Richie's starting to gain, and everybody's starting to slowly catching up on Jeff, like you were saying earlier. A little while ago, Nate Biggers probably gained about 0.2 of a second on Jeff, and he's kind of holding steady right now. But we'll see. We'll see how this plays out a little longer. I mean, we know Nate's got a quick car. He's usually quick every week, and he's got clean air now for the most part. You get out there and you just get it done.
Riding on board with the 19 of Coy, the Victory Fuel Machine. Again, got to give them a shout out every week. Go to drinkvictory.com, use code FTSR for 10% off your order. You got to try some Victory Fuel, man. Throttle Punch, that's my favorite. That's the red car he's running tonight, at least on my screen. Tony's got the purple.
I got him in the grape. I'm a fan of the grape anyway, so
I do. I'm looking forward to trying the grape. I think it's coming out. It's come out this month, I think, in July. So looking forward to trying the what they call Purple Potion. They also have Lucky Lemon, which a lot of people like as well, kind of a lemonade kind of drink. But you got to try it, man. It's good stuff, good product from some good people. So go to drinkvictory.com. FTSR is your code for 10% off your order. I don't know if I said first order, but it's every order. You can use it on every order. Code FTSR. Please do. Just support us, support them, and get a great product.
Man, I was talking about lap times and closing rates, and we got Nathan Biggert. He's 0.4 off of Jeff Chandler now. He turned up the volume, and he is catching him quick. And then you got Nicholas Moreau, who's catching Nate now. So and Richie Coy and Danny LaFleur are hot on their tail. I mean, we've got another 5-car run here, and almost at lap 50. So yeah, this has turned out to be a pretty good race so far. I mean, we definitely got some movers and shakers, and I don't know. I couldn't even tell you who's going to win this one now. I mean, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, we're starting to see the infamous snake down the straightaway. See these guys starting to try to break the draft. The draft is so powerful down the front straightaway. You see these guys kind of swerving left, swerving right, trying to break that draft. The 01 of Biggert, though, has closed in. He's right on the back bumper of the 31 of Chandler. And one thing I see Nathan doing differently, too, we'll see if he gets into turn 3, he's actually running the high side in 3. Let third lane, you get a really good run off the corner. If you open it up, it seems like it's real. He gets the wall just a little bit off turn 2. Let's see if he does it again here in turn 3, goes to the third lane. There he goes.
Yeah, that outside, especially in turn three, like like we talked earlier, I do like turn three, and I like taking it wide too. I mean, you can almost kind of diamond that corner, get that tough run on the inside or going in, and then on exit you could get a nice run coming out, and it's a great corner because you can really take it in so many different ways. That's one of the reasons why I like it the most. The other two, you gotta, one and two, you really gotta be very specific, but three, you have options. But it seems like too that these outside grooves on every corner is always the prevailing. And man, I'm looking at the top four now. I mean, they're all within not even a car length of each other right now.
Bam, 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 bam. They're all and now top five.
And Danny just tucked it in, and he's they're all.
It's really interesting how they kind of at the beginning they're kind of together, then they kind of spread out, and they all come back together about halfway through the run. It's interesting to me how that kind of works.
Yeah, and I mean, and we saw Richie, lead the pack earlier, and then he fell back. Now we had Jeff Chandler now leading this pack, and now is he going to fall back? Or does he have this long run car, or maybe that clean air, maybe it doesn't work great with your tires. Maybe it hurts you.
Tony, I'm looking for a Tonyism here. I know that a tandem is two cars working together. What do you call when three cars are bump drafting like that?
That would be a triandem, maybe.
I don't know. Whatever it is, it's what they're doing. They're trying to pull away from fourth and fifth, but they're all right on top of each other, really, at this point. I don't think Nate wants to make the move because he don't want to get a freight train. Now that 77's going to look to the inside as the Owen uses that outside lane. Trying to hang there, gets loose off the corner. It's going to have to duck back in.
Well, Levitai Racing to turn Pocono into Daytona. I mean, yeah, but it does kind of feel like, you make that one bad move, especially at plate track, and you're going to get freight trained. The draft is just so powerful. You just really don't want to get out of line unless you know for sure. Like I could see Nate's waiting for that outside momentum run where he could just sneak that car on the outside and then try to make a pass that way because he feels like he's going to have people to go with him.
I got two thoughts here. So 99 was making a move to the outside. Coy's kind of shut that down, but so you got two sets of teammates up there with the 31 and 19 on Fury, and you got the 99 and the 77 on Barreau Motorsports. And then you got Nathan Biggert up there by himself. And I kind of wonder if he feels like he's kind of a fish out of water if he makes a move here. Although they're not quite lined up, nose to tail like you would expect them to.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, there's not an order of file kind of like a plate track, but yeah, they are. I think everybody in the top five, though, they're pretty aware that, you get out of line, you're going to get freight trained one way or another. You're going to go to the back of said line. And, it's one of those things you got to make your move. But there again, too, we're at lap 53. Some of these guys, they're going to be pitting maybe within the next 10 to 15 laps. So, they might be biting their tongue and their time right now, biding their time at least.
Oh, so the eight has an issue spinning down the short chute. That's going to bring out the caution. Lane Allen had some issue off turn 2 and ended up on the inside, hit those bumps on the inside, and his car just took a right-hand turn. Interesting there, but stiff as these cars ride, any of those bumps down there are going to upset the car. We'll see if we can check that out again.
It almost looked like he was catching the 37th of Brian Dublé, and I believe it was the 26th of Matthew Vacan, or it might even been Colton Gum, one of those guys. But the two of them were side by side going into 2, and it almost looked like Lane kind of had to check up for him, and it may have thrown the car off checking up for him.
Let's go through the tunnel turn here. Actually, everything looked fine on that lap. Might be a lap up.
Yeah, he did, and he did. He actually made a little contact with Colton Gum, or not Colton Gum. He made a little contact. Lane Allen made a little contact with Brian Dublé, and then kind of stuck him on the inside dirt. Didn't look like he didn't really even spin around completely.
Oh,
He doesn't appear to be damaged, but
let's see if we can pull this back here. Looks like, oh no, that's. All right, let's back it up again one more time. Coming through the tunnel turn, it looks like the 37 and yeah, is that Pocono that he was beside? And then 8 just gets on the. Let's see if we ride on board here. Clean Allen. He gets down on the bumps. Man, just hits the bumps and takes a right-hand turn. Sherwood Williford barely missing that. We'll see if we can watch from his on board. I'm just trying to look at different. All right, so Sherwood coming through turn 2. Lane's down the bottom. No issue, no issue. Oh, no, he's coming across the track. And just barely misses.
yeah. I mean, it was good. I mean, even a good save on Lane's part. I mean, he barely tapped the wall and didn't look too bad. He'll be able to keep the car out there. And but yeah, it looked like that little bobble with the 2 cars in front of him that just kind of slowed him down.
Who was the other car? Because that's what I'm trying to find.
It was, well, I know it was Brian Dublé.
It was 20, wasn't it?
It may have been
TJ Bartel. I wanted to back it up and see exactly what happened to those guys coming through the tunnel turn. Side by side, the 37 and the 20. 37 drives in there and just pushes up the track and gets off the gas, and the 8 had nowhere to go. That's just a really weird accident. Just the 37 checks up and the 8 gets into the 37. Then everything's good, and then he hits the bumps and spins to the right.
Well, that kind of goes back to this car too. I mean, with so little suspension travel, you know, even just a little bump like that, you know, there's no way to save it.
Guess we missed some pit stops because, boy, there was a.
Yes, we did. Apparently, we missed a big one.
There was a mix-up, but there. We're gonna look at it here. So these guys. Where's Jeff Chandler? All the way to the. Let's go to pit stops here.
Well, I did see James Wallace stayed out.
James Wallace did stay out, but something happened to Chandler too because he's way down the running order. I wonder if he got a speeding penalty. I hate to say it. Looks like he sped up right there as he come into pit road. I wonder if he got one right there.
He was allowing cars to pass by him. So yeah.
And then he slows down. Probably fussing on the radio. Be my guess. I'd be doing the same thing. So they come into the pits, and there's a little bit of shakeup of a running order. James Wallace just to stay out. Nicholas Moreau in second. Nathan Biggert, Richie Coy. Let's see if they hold him in his box.
They didn't hold him in his box from what I saw. And I'm looking too. It doesn't look like he was actually. Yeah, he doesn't seem to be speeding at all. Unless, you know what? No, maybe he was speeding a little bit.
Yeah, because he pulls off there on the
on
exit.
his entry. Yeah.
On entry, coming in that first line, I think he was speeding. Man, big implications there for the 31 of Jeff Chandler from the penthouse to the outhouse is what I've always heard.
And usually, too, on entry, though, they give you the hold through right there. They usually don't. They usually make you stop right there. So hopefully it doesn't have to go in for an actual green flag stop. But maybe
I don't think he would, unless he was passing under yellow. But he was the leader, so he shouldn't. That should be the issue.
Right.
All right, so let's reset it. James Wallace stays out on this. This is an interesting call because he's going to have to pit, and they all may have to pit from here.
Well, James is probably going to have to pit within the next 10 laps or so. I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, he might. He definitely doesn't have enough fuel to get there.
Another strategy call. Pace car's off. Green flag's out, and we're back underway here at Pocono. The Pocono 250 for the FTSR Mach-1 Performance Cup Series. And I tell you, James had a lead, but Nicholas got a good start there.
Well, James does have quite a bit older tires, so I just don't see that spot working for him very long. I mean, unless he's hoping for a very quick caution to maybe get back up there. Kind of watching Jeff Chandler too to see he's dicing it on the outside. I mean, he does not look like a car that needs to go in for a green flag stop. So maybe he just got a truck to the end of the line penalty.
I thought we were going to go 3 wide in the tunnel turn. We just saw 2 wide didn't work. I don't know about 3 wide, but they did sort that out. It's getting kind of dicey back here for about 6th on back. But James Wallace is hanging on right now, P6.
Yeah, he did fall back, which we kind of assumed he was, but yeah, we'll see. I don't think it's a good call, but maybe he wanted that extra point to lead the lap, and at least he got it.
A couple guys that are underperforming tonight. I was kind of surprised is the 48 of Jamie Knopf, the 06 Daniel Simmons. They're kind of mid-pack right now. I know we had just pit strategy and pit stalls and maybe pit stops and some different stuff going on there. But, you see the 48 of Jamie Knopf almost lose it there.
The broadcaster curse, I know we were just talking about him, and yeah, but it's true though, and I wonder if that early wreck or that early damage, either spooked them or just kind of messed up the car for both of them. But yeah, I was expecting a little bit more out of both of them tonight.
Well, that was my second point I never got to, is I'm surprised with some of these guys bouncing off the walls like they are, that they're not taking more damage than they are. I'm not sure. Ooh, you see the 06 get loose off the corner. That was Daniel Simmons dancing off the corner right there off the front bumper of the 20 of TJ Bartell. Matthew Vacon behind him. But yeah, Tony, I'm surprised you see these guys smacking the wall off turn 1, smacking the wall off turn 2, and yet not taking any damage.
I know, it really doesn't make any sense. I mean, I guess you can call that the product of the service, but, sometimes it's very inconsistent on the amount of damage the car receives. Depending on, you would think that, a car that would really smack the wall wouldn't be leading a race, opposed to a car that barely tapped the wall that's, struggling to stay in the top 10.
When a bigger just smacked the wall off too, as I was talking.
And then, then you hear sometimes, somebody's going to smack the wall. Oh, the car drives better now. And it's like, well, wait, which one is it?
There's been one time that I've hit the wall and the car has actually driven better. But I don't think you ever have a great driving car and you hit the wall and it drives better.
Well, I could tell by experience that, yes, there's been a few times where the car does feel better. Does it mean it's quicker? Not necessarily, but the way the car feels, yeah, sometimes after tapping the wall, it does improve the feeling of it.
Now, I've hit the wall, parked it, and felt better about my situation as a whole.
Well, yeah.
Because I don't have to drive it anymore. But
very true, very true. You're preaching to the choir on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just, we're back up to the lead here. We got Nicholas Moreau, Richie Coy, Daniel LaFleur, Nathan Biggert running 4th, Kyle Milliken in 5th, Joshua Johnson 6th. Brian Dublaze worked his way up to 7th place. Daniel Simmons is in 8th. James Wallace, who we talked about earlier, led the pack. He fell all the way down to 11th. He is losing positions pretty bad. Sherwood was up in the top 10 for a little while, but he kind of fell back to 12th. But
it is Tony, I hate to interrupt you. It's a hornet's nest back here for 11th on back, and these guys are just all over each other. They were 3 wide going into turn 1. I think Jeff Chandler was in the middle of that. The 42 of Knopf was under Chandler, who was under somebody else. It's just, it's chaos back here. And I know Jeff's trying to get back to the front. This is not what you need.
No, not at all. Yeah, it is a hornet's nest up there. And what do they call that? A gaggle? Something like that. And the one guy that kind of sneaked through the whole pack of the gaggle is Ryan Hedrick, who we haven't really talked about at all. He's sitting nicely in 10th. He's kind of in the lead of this whole pack and just driving away. He's got Sherwood right behind him. So Sherwood kind of worked his way through that mess of traffic. And everybody's starting to single file out, though, now from that big, long pack.
I mean, if nothing else, this shows you how much track position matters. You got the 31 of Chandler back here. He's still in 15th. Cannot get by these guys. Just cannot. I mean, James Wallace is back here in 14th as well, which is surprising. He was towards the front. But, yeah, you got Ryan Hedrick in 10th. That Boomerang guys, you got Brian Dublé up in 6th, and you got Joshua Johnson right in front of him in fifth. These guys have kind of figured things out here.
Yeah, the boomerang guys, they're showing some strength tonight too. Especially Brian. Brian, he's running kind of in the back of the pack most of the race, and here he is. Everybody should basically everybody should have enough gas to make it, with the exception of James Wallace. And
James
he's
dropped like a rock. James dropped like a rock too. But now James was another one that was having a good run. Stayed out on that caution. Now he's in 16th spot behind Jamie Knopf. So,
I don't know. That probably wouldn't have been my call. He did.
Here's the thing: he saved a set of tires. So if that was your goal, that'll work out here. As long as you may need to pit in the next couple laps to keep from going a lap down, because you're losing a lot of time to the leader. But if you wanted to save a set of tires, that's one way to do it.
Yeah, very true. I believe everybody still at least has one more set, and James probably has two. But like I say, it's a little risky move. I mean, we weren't really looking forward or really anticipating a lot of cautions tonight. But we've obviously had a couple, nothing too major. And I don't know. I don't see any more cautions coming. Later on, that's gonna maybe benefit him.
Your crystal ball.
Yeah, I just don't see it happening. I mean, but you never know. Weirder things have happened.
Yeah, that one caution probably would have happened if Lane wouldn't have got on those bumps and he took off to the right.
Right. If we were in the Truck Series or the Xfinity Series, it probably wouldn't have been, or you never know. It could have happened, and iRacing wouldn't have dropped the yellow anyway. So.
Oh, that's true too. That's another thing to consider too. So, although there's not really much you can do to get off track here. You got those walls that are moved out right to the edge of the asphalt now. There's not much off track. There's not much of in the way of getting off the racing surface and out of the way, but never put anything past the iRacing officiating.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we're definitely not going to see anybody, do an Elliott Sadler, crash into a berm or anything here, but you never know. We could still see a car flying and no caution or something. But yeah, and I'm still going back to the top two. We got still Nicholas and Richie. Richie's about 2/10 off of Nicholas, and they've kind of actually taken a nice breakaway from third and fourth of Danny LaFleur and Nate Biggert. And so you got the two of them, then you got Danny and Nate and the two, and then you got Josh and Brian Dublé, and then Daniel Simmons is a 3-pack behind them. And but other than that, everybody's kind of spread out.
Yeah, they are, and we see this every time. They start together, they spread out, but will they come back together? We'll see if Danny LaFleur and Nathan Biggert can make any inroads. About 1.7 seconds back of the 77 of Nicholas Moreau.
Yeah, I'm backtracking over to Jeff Chandler as well too, and he is he's still kind of just stuck back there. And it's sad too, with a good quick long run card like he had. You don't want to burn up your tires too much trying to get back to the field, but where you got to go. This is kind of the time where you need to go now. We only got about 34 laps to go. So
I've lost count of how many times I've seen that 06 sideways in turn one. He just again was trying to make that move on the inside of Joshua Johnson and just kicks it out sideways. We talk how hard this car is to catch. Daniel's getting plenty of practice tonight because his car is loose.
Yeah, and it's kind of sad, when we used to run this car in the dirt. I mean, I used to love this car in the dirt, and this car would slide and do all kinds of stuff, and it was super manageable.
Blasphemy.
Yeah, but when you get it on the pavement, though, there's no control with it whatsoever. So, but you're right, though. I have seen Daniel get a little loose, and he's making it work.
Actually, this might be the one car that I'd rather run on dirt than asphalt.
I feel like you have more grip. I'm not going to lie. And like I say, it's way more manageable as far as, getting the car to rotate and getting to straighten back out again. It just seems like, well, why can't you do that on pavement? You would think it's made for pavement. But I'm watching Daniel Simmons. Yeah, he gets a little loose again trying to make that cut. He's got to get on the top side of Johnson if he wants to make that pass. It just,
Lane Allen back there sliding around as well is what I was watching. But Daniel Simmons trying to make that pass for a 6th spot.
Well, it almost looks like the gaggle's starting to reform again. We got a lot of cars back there from, what are we looking at? Almost like 5th place all the way into 10th place right now. And they're just, under an umbrella They all just single filed out just as I'm speaking, but they were all too wide there for a second.
See if Daniel can make this pass. He's got to go, man. He's got to get by this 57. Because if he allows the 57 to pull him back, that 37 is a teammate back there, so he's not going to have. It's going to be even tougher for him to make this pass. He's going to have to get this done and get this done on this attempt, or else he's going to go backwards.
Well, the 37 is going to be under fire by T.J. Bartel within the next lap here. T.J.'s coming pretty quick, and then you've got Sherwood behind T.J., and then you got Jeff Chandler behind Sherwood. So, yeah, once if you're going to get freight trained at some point, I feel like it.
Get the pass done. He does. Pulls up in front of the 57 and does get the pass complete just in time because 37 is coming. Here comes the 20, and here comes the 57 back on the 06 of Joshua Johnson. Again, this battle for 5th spot.
I just don't think that's going to work out, though, for Joshua. He's going to put him on the inside, and I think it's just we're going to see Daniel Simmons now. Just he'll clear him by the time he gets to 2.
There you go. He clears him off of 1. Didn't even take that long. So off turn 1 to give Daniel Simmons P5. Joshua Johnson drops the piece. Oh, we got a wreck behind him. Sherwood Williford goes around on the Lone Pond straightaway. Caution is out here at Pocono.
Well, I'm thinking about James Wallace right now. He's probably wondering, and Sherwood just does an insta-toe, so he's done. But James Wallace is thinking, all right, well, I get to use my set of tires now, and I'm assuming some of these other guys are going to come in and take tires.
Actually, James Wallace just pitted. Wow.
He pitted her.
Wow, he's already made his pit stop. Interesting.
Oh, man. Well,
no, this is good. If he can hustle around, these other guys make their stop, you'll go right back to the front with the same tires that these guys have.
Yeah, that actually might work out in his
favor. I like it. What
and
I don't like, let's see what Sherwood Williford had going on there. Racing with Jeff Chandler. Down Lone Pond straightaway, and it looks like, contact between him and the 31. Sends the one to the inside wall.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for both of them.
Look on board. Where's Jeff Chandler at? Just getting that side draft just a little too close and turns the one at Sherwood Williford around. Gee. One more shot here with Jeff Chandler. Coming off turn 1, just close racing, trying to stay as close as you can to that quarter panel. And like he just misjudged a little bit, Tommy. Just like he moved up and kind of caught the 1, or even, I don't know if the draft maybe turned the 1 down a little bit, but it looks like it was just a misjudgment there. And
yeah, I mean, definitely didn't look any intentional contact or anything like that. Just hard racing.
All right, let's see if these guys come down pit road.
Unfortunate for Sherwood, too, because he was having a good run there. And,
he was finally up, and I think he was in the, well, I don't know. Where was he at? He was top 15.
He's been floating anywhere from 10 to 15, but he had a couple moments of brilliance there, and he would have he would have probably had a top 10 by the end of the night.
What about James Wallace, man? He just made his pit stop, and the caution comes out. He's going to cycle to the front with basically the same tires as these guys. You can't get a better break than that.
I mean, buy a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that worked out in his favor. And, with everybody going in for pits now, too, James still got an extra set. So if we get another caution, he can go in and get another fresh set if he needs.
Did we see some 2-tire? I think we saw some 2-tire stops here. Man, everything's just gotten shaken up. James Wallace is out lead. He's going to be out front because he just made his pit stop. The 01 of Simmons, the 57 of Johnson, the 48 of Knopf, at least those 3 took 2 tires. And now they're going to line up second, third, and fourth.
Yeah, from when I was watching, yes, all 3 of them did take 2 tires. And, it's going to be interesting. I mean, if nothing else, too, this is even better for James Wallace. I mean, especially, too, he's going to have 4 fresh tires. He might have a lap of scrub on him. But, he's going to have 3 guys on 2 tires. So it means the rest of the field with the freshies is going to have to kind of get through these, these 2-tire guys. And, James is probably going to I'll tell you, he put himself in a good position. That's impressive. I know he probably I know he was planning some of it. He probably didn't plan it to go like this.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he didn't. He didn't. You know, it's like I said. You tell me when the caution comes out, and I'll tell you when to pit. And well, his crystal ball is working well tonight because that's going to put him on the front row leading this race. And again, with about the same tires these guys do, and honestly, even better, he's got 3 guys on 2 tires behind him. So it's even of a bigger gap to the guys who've got 4 fresh tires. So it couldn't have worked out any better. This is going to be cool. He's going to have a teammate behind him with the 57 of Johnson as well.
And Johnson was pretty strong as well early on. So
and I'm not saying he's. Listen, I don't think he's got. I don't know if he's got winning pace. The 67 does, but he's put himself in a position to have a really good night here. He's just got to make sure that have a good restart, get through the gears, get clear, put some distance on you between you and I think Nicholas Moreau is going to be your closest competitor as far as tires go. And
yeah, he's sitting in 5th right now. So,
yeah. So I think, hey, I like it. I like it. Again, off strategy, something different, and it works out. You've got to try it sometimes.
Yeah, and that's where, you roll the dice, and the dice came in your favor.
And if you guys are watching it, they're out there on the track. Did we just lose somebody? No? Okay. I thought I just saw somebody flash. But if you guys are watching this back there in this race, listen, do something different. We'll talk about you. Make it interesting, make it exciting, give us something to talk about, and we will talk about it. So you want to put yourself up front, get yourself some airtime. That's the way to do it for sure. The 67 James Wallace on the outside is going to be Daniel Simmons in the 06, Joshua Johnson in 3rd, 4th is going to be the 48 of Jamie Knopf, and rounding out your top 5 is going to be Nicholas Moreau.
I'm checking out the chat, which we always neglect to do. And we got Doyle Lawrence out there. What's up, man? Jeff is he's still in this. It looks like he's just got a little bit of work to make up after that pit road.
Yeah, I forgot to give our weekly shout out to Doyle.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Green flag's out. We're back underway here at Pocono.
Wow, Josh Johnson gave his teammate a pretty good bump going out there. It probably wasn't a great bump, but it was a bump nonetheless.
These guys starting to get a little racy now. You see the 31 on the inside making it 3 wide. The 01 looking to the outside trying to make something happen. Those guys back in the pack, they need to get clear of this traffic. They know, based on what they saw with the 31, and the 31's still 3 wide back there, that they need to get that track position. 3 wide, 2 deep here going into the tunnel turn.
Daniel Simmons is now our leader, and he's got Jamie Knopp right behind him, trying to take 2nd place from James Wallace. And then you've got Nicholas Monroe, or no, that's Daniel LaFleur now, trying to get on the outside of James Wallace.
There's so much going on right now.
There's 3 wide down the front straight. We got Josh Johnson in the middle between Nate Biggert and Nicholas Monroe.
Now Richie Coy's going to look to the outside of him, trying to make it 3 wide. Little contact between the 19 and the 57 as they go by.
Almost was 4 wide for a minute there, but yeah. Josh kind of got shuffled in the back there a little bit. Not too bad, no harm, no foul. But those 2 tires got to be hurting some of these guys at some point.
Daniel Simmons and Jamie Knopf out front right now. And the 67 getting freight train, man. That's not what you want to see.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that,
the 42, and he saves it. The 42 was all kind of out of shape here in turn 2 and saves it.
Yeah, I saw that. That was.
And right in front of him, Colton Gum into the side of lane, or the 47 of Ryan Hedrick, and they catch that and keep that going. Man, it is time to go. 25 laps to go here. 26 at Pocono.
Well, would you believe we almost have a completely different top 5 than we have had most of this race at this point? I think the only 2 people that we've had, we have Danny, Nathan, and Richie. Those are the only 3 that have been in the top 5. But then you got Daniel Simmons and Jamie Knopp right now, runner 1-2. And,
we were just talking about how bad they were running. I guess they heard us, and they've stepped it up now, running 1-2. Danny LaFleur 3rd, Nathan Biggert 4th. James Wallace 5th, as we may have lost Tony there. Tony said he had storms coming through, and it looks like they've finally struck, so it's just going to be a second before he gets back here. You see the battle for second. That's going to be the 99 of LaFleur and the 48 of Knopf. Farther back, you got the 67 going by the 77. That's Wallace by Moreau, and he brings his teammate Joshua Johnson with him on the outside of the 77. So much action going on here at Pocono. Very exciting race. Fun to watch, man. These guys are going at it. Hot and heavy, and it's the more laps that come off the board, the harder they're going to push. Again, your top five now is Daniel Simmons, Danny LaFleur, Nathan Biggert, Jamie Knopf, and Richie Coy. Nathan Biggert with those new tires starting to eat through the field now. Danny LaFleur as well right in front of him. You see Daniel Simmons go down to block the draft. Out of turn one, Daniel Simmons, Danny LaFleur, Nathan Biggert now up to P3. It's going to give a push to the 99 LaFleur down the straightaway. LaFleur right on the back bumper of the 06 of Simmons. You know, we hadn't talked much either, but there's some pretty bad aero push if you're right on the back bumper of the car. We've seen that before with the 77 Moreau, I believe, or a couple of guys. The 01 of Nathan Biggert as well, following right against somebody coming out of the corner, and you will push right up. Top five, nose to tail, going into turn one. You got a group of three, a group of two, and a group of three. That's your top 8 so far. Top 10 all right there in the picture. 23 laps to go here at Pocono Raceway. The Pocono 250 for the FTSR Mach-1 Performance Cup Series here on Full Throttle Television. Hope you guys are enjoying it. It's a lot of fun to watch. Side by side with the 19 of Coy and the 48 of Jamie Knopf. Jamie gets that run off turn 3 and able to pull back in front. Now the 99 LaFleur looks to the inside of the 06 of Simmons going into turn 1. Simmons trying to hang tough on the outside. Can't do it. Give the lead to the 99 of Jamie Knopf. I'm sorry, Danny LaFleur. Now Nathan Biggert is going to look on the inside. The 01. And while that's happening, the 19 of Coy is looking to the inside of the 48 of Jamie Knopf. 2x2 into the tunnel turn. The 06 still stepping out. Very loose. He concedes the position. The 01 of Biggert put Nathan Biggert P2. Jamie Knopf and Richie Coy still side by side. That's for P4. Jamie Knopf's going to hold on to that position with the draft down the straightaway. Richie Coy in 5th. Joshua Johnson 6th. Nicholas Moreau back there in 7th. Richie still trying to look for a way to get by. Falls back in line. Now you got the 57 and 77 nose to tail. 6th and 7th. Again, laps running out here. 21 to go. It'll be 20 to go at the line. These guys are going to have to find their way to the front to give themselves a shot here at the win. '77 to the inside of the 57. Moreau inside. Johnson outside as they go side by side. Johnson's got the draft with the outside lane. Johnson's got to run off the corner. He's going to clear the 77 of Moreau and fight that position off. The same thing with Coy and Knopf. Knopf hangs on. Got the 06 of Daniel Simmons right in front of him. LaFleur, Biggert, Simmons, your top three. Richie Coy running that bottom lane through turns 1 and 2. The 48 running a little bit higher line as some of the other cars are as well. All nose to tail as they go down the Long Pond straightaway into turn 2. The tunnel turn. Then LaFleur continues to lead. Nathan Biggert in second. Daniel Simmons in third. Jamie Knopf fourth. Richie Coy in fifth. You have Joshua Johnson, Nicholas Moreau, those guys battling for sixth spot. James Wallace, Jeff Chandler making another appearance back here in the top 10, trying to work his way to the front, trying to get by James Wallace. And TJ Bartell riding lonesome back there in the top 10. 10th spot, all by myself. And that's not necessarily a bad thing here, although you kind of want the draft, but get me away from some of these crazy fools. Because it is getting hot and heavy up here. It's getting crazy. Side by side again for fourth spot. Richie Coy still trying to use that bottom to get by the 48 of Knopf. Knopf holds him off once again on the high side. And behind him, same story. Same song, different verse. Joshua Johnson, Nicholas Moreau. Although Moreau hangs tough going into turn 1. .31 of Chandler gets a good run off the corner. He's going to look to the inside of Nicholas Moreau now, maybe? Nothing there. Single file through the tunnel turn. LaFleur, Biggert, Simmons, Knopf, and Coy, your top 5. Same thing off the corner. Coy gets the inside. Knopf gets the draft. Knopf holds him off. I'll tell you, the 77. Moreau's just still trying to make that pass on the 57 and finally does so. So gets by Joshua Johnson. Now the 31 of Chandler is going to try the same thing down Long Pond. Nothing doing there. They get back single file. Now the 48 and the 19 are side by side through the tunnel turn. 48 up high, 19 down low. Still can't make that pass. Now the 77 Moreau pulls up behind the 19. 16, it'll be 15 to go at the line. Right, stacked up on top of each other. Now the 77 of Moreau looking to the outside of the 19 of Coy. Coy shuts that door. Now Moreau still looking, trying to find a way around. And I got confirmation. Tony's turned into a spectator. Power is off, he says. Tony, you're missing some great. Well, you're missing Cullen some great racing. I guess you can still watch, but it's incredible there. The 48 and the 19 going out and back, just trying their best. Here comes the 77, ducks out of line late on the inside of Coy, trying to make that inside line work. Here comes the 77. Nicholas Moreau going for the three-peat. Stuck side by side with the 19 of Coy. Now the 31 of Chandler trying to make his presence known. 31 way high through the tunnel turn. Meanwhile, LaFleur continues to lead, but there is a battle for the lead. The 01 of Biggert looking to the inside of LaFleur. Can't get that done. It's going to pull back to the inside. Now LaFleur pulls to the bottom to block. Now pulls to the high side to block. That's just letting the 06 of Simmons get right on the back bumper of the 01. And while that was happening, the 48 pulls right up on the back bumper for those guys as well. So everybody knows to tell once again. 13 to go. We'll see who has tires for the end of this race. I can tell you one thing, the 99 LaFleur is not going to let this lead go easily. And we see how hard it is to pass. But that 01 of Nathan Biggert using that high line through turn 3 is really getting a good run. Now the 19 of Coy finally, well, I was going to say gets by, but now they're 3 wide. 48 stuck to the outside. Now the 77 of Moreau on the inside, 3 wide. And there's Jeff Chandler on the outside of the 19. Still 3 wide. The 31 is going to be in the preferred position as long as he can push the 48 on. He's going to get that spot, so he picks up 2 spots. By the 77, by the 19, put the 31 of Chandler up into P5. Can he make a rebound? As look, he may have got the wall off turn 2. Now the 19 of Coy back to the inside. These teammates running side by side. Oh, you see the 48 get the wall. 31 in the wall. These guys pushing a little too hard right now. It's going to lose a lot of momentum for these guys back here. As the top 3 kind of break away, you got LaFleur, Biggert, and Simmons. 1, 2, 3. 31 of Jeff Chandler still trying to hang to the outside of the 77 of Moreau. Can't do it. The 48 gets tight. The 77 hits the wall. The 19 gets by. Now the 48 back by on the inside of the 19. Side by side through the tunnel turn. These guys are pushing for everything they've got. The 77 pulls up and gives a bump to the 19 of Coy. Moreau now to the outside of the 48 of Jamie Knopf. 31 of Chandler is going to try to follow him through there and does. So Jamie Knopf falls to 7th. All this battle has allowed the top 3 to kind of pull away. LaFleur, Biggert, and Simmons have opened up a little bit of a gap to the 19 of Coy, the 77 of Moreau, the 31 of Chandler. It just seemed like anybody could get out front here and lead this race. They have a shot at this win because it's just so hard to pass. Now we get 9 to go here at the stripe. 9 laps left as the 19 of Coy and the 77 of Moreau are side by side going into turn 1. Close quarters racing as they enter turn 1. They're still trying to hang to that inside line as they go into the tunnel turn. And that is tough to do now. He pulls even with Coy. Into turn 3. Coy on the outside, Moreau on the inside. Of course, dancing around looking for traction. All this is doing is letting the top 3 get away, though. Moreau still on the inside of the 19 of Coy. 31's going to pull it behind the 19. The 48's going to choose the 77. So they are 2x2 for 4th on back. And they sorted out getting into turn 1. Only 8 laps left here at Pocono. And that is a lot of time to make up. Richie Coy falling 1.8 seconds back of our leader. Now Moreau looking back to the inside, going into turn 3. Meanwhile, the top 3 are nose to tail. I think they know if they can just stay like this, it'll be between the 3 of them. They're almost 2 seconds out on the second group right now. There's the front group. And there's Coy and the 4-pack back here. Speaking of 4-packs, go to victoryfuel.com. What a plug. Get your 4-pack at victoryfuel.com. Use code FTSR at drinkvictory.com. It's interesting that the Victory Fuel car is leading this 4-pack. We saw Daniel Simmons come up 1 spot short last week at Chicagoland. Just could not hold off the 77 of Moreau. But now he's in front of Moreau. But watching these top 2 kind of get away, LaFleur and Biggert. P1, P2. There's TJ Bartell trying to make a move on the 57 of Joshua Johnson. That's for 9th spot. Give it to TJ. TJ's going to take that off turn 1. Still over 2 seconds back to the second pack. They are not making the moves they wanted to make. 6 laps to go here at Pocono Raceway. It looks like it's going to be between these top 3 as things kind of run right now. As long as they can kind of get to the white flag and let that be the situation, it's going to be between them. I know Coy and those guys are trying to do everything they can to run them down, but they are not making headway. LaFleur, Biggert, Simmons. We saw Biggert try to make a move before, and the inside lane was not the place to be through turn 3 on Jeff Chandler. Will he try something different? Can he try something different? What are the options? Right now, you've got to be making that plan as he goes to the high side through turn 3, really high. Trying to get that run down the straightaway. Now Richie Coy's kind of broken free of the 77 of Moreau. He's kind of off by himself. Still almost 2 seconds back. He's going to need some drafting help if they're going to get back up there. 4 laps to go. .48 touches the wall off turn 1. That's going to open the door for the 31 of Chandler. He chooses to stay in line. This is where your show is going to be. LaFleur leading the race here after a pit strategy call to take 2 tires. Nathan Biggert on 4 tires. Daniel Simmons on 2 tires. Richie Coy on 4 tires, and Nicholas Moreau on 4 as well. So 2 tires have kind of paid off for first and third right now. But we'll see at the end of this race if those 4 tires can make a pass and make something work, as we've only got 3 laps to go here at Pocono. Through the tunnel turn. Winding down, these guys are going to be kind of wore out. 100 laps around this track is nothing to sneeze at. Again, you see the 01 taking that high line through turn 3. Daniel Simmons just hanging back there about 4 or 5 car lengths back. Richie Coy, this guy's still about 2 seconds back. Two laps to go. Battle with Jeff Chandler trying to get by the 48 of Knopf. Can't do it. You got the duo of Coy and Moreau. They're coming through 3 and 4. They're going to see the white flag. It's going to be 1 lap to go here for the Mach-1 Performance Cup Series Full Throttle Sim Racing presented by Full Throttle TV. 1 lap to go. And the 01 gives the 99 a push down the straightaway. Final lap here at Pocono. Into turn 1. Looks like the 99 fakes high and it goes to the bottom. Status quo coming down the backstretch. 01 still in striking distance through the tunnel turn. Just got to hit your marks here. Looking good. The 99's actually pulled out a little bit of lead going into 3. The 01 looks for something to do. Looks high, looks low. Stays a little lower here. Tries to get a run on the 99, but it's not going to be enough. Coming off turn 4, turn 3, the 99 says, Poco, yes, a Pocono wins. Takes the checkered flag in the Pocono 250. Richie Coy holds off Nicholas Moreau for 4th. And you got the 48 of Knopf and Chandler, P7. TJ Bartel comes on P8. P9, James Wallace. And 10th is going to be Joshua Johnson. Another solid finish for him as well. But your big winner tonight on the 2-tire strategy car is going to be the 99 of Danny LaFleur, taking home the victory here at Pocono. Moreau Motorsports finishes P1, P5, and P20. Looks like Matthew Vacon had some issues and pulled off. As Danny LaFleur comes to the front stretch, he's going to give the crowd a show. Stops at the start-finish line. Trying to find first gear. And there it is. Big win for Danny LaFleur. Let's take a look at our results here. Danny LaFleur takes home the victory in the number 99 Moreau Motorsports Transit Chevrolet. Nathan Biggert comes home P2 in the 01. P3 for the 06 of Daniel Simmons. Richie Coy comes home in 4th place in the 19. Nicholas Moreau finishes 5th in the number 77 after starting on the 48 of Jamie Knopf finishes 6th. 7th place for the 31 of Jeff Chandler. 8th is going to be the 20 of TJ Bartel. Coming home in 9th is James Wallace in the 67 for Boomerang Motorsports, and Boomerang Motorsports teammate and owner Joshua Johnson comes home P10 in the 57. You got Kyle Milliken in 11th in the number 42. Brian Dublé in the 37 is going to come home in 12th spot. 13th is going to be the 47 of Brian Hedrick. Colton Gum in the 10 and 14th. 15th is going to be Dave Nestor in the 36. 16th, Alan Kroll in the 54. 17th, Lane Allen after a tough race. Soldiers home to a P8, P17 finish. Wayne Grassi, after his technical issues, comes home in 18th. Capitalizing on some of these guys down here had issues. The one of Sherwood Williford, after that contact with the 31 down the Long Pond straightaway, ends his night, comes home P19. 20th is going to be Matthew Pocono in the 26, James Torrey 21st, and Alan DeRonco, your final finisher, in 22nd position in the number 2. Let's see if we can transition here to our post-race wrap-up. Again, remember, our post-race is sponsored by Victory Fuel. Make sure to go to drinkvictory.com. Use code FTSR, 10% off your order. Try some great stuff. The Swindell family, they're good people too. Good product, good people to support. Make sure you do so. And check them out at drinkvictory.com. Looks like we got Tony back. Tony, you here? Hello, Tony.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
There he is. Sorry, I need to give you. Can you not join this channel?
I was not able to join the channel. Sorry. No, I was down there talking to Nate for a second and just waiting patiently. Yeah, we've been having major storms here in the neighborhood, and the power didn't go off. It was intermittently going off. The computer must have restarted like 3 times, and then I had to wait for the internet to restart a few times, and I'm here now. Fun finish though. It was pretty exciting from what I saw. I jumped on the phone right away and just made sure the basement wasn't flooding all at the same time. And
I'll get you permissions. I thought as an admin you should have access to every channel.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like the super secret channel that nobody knows about.
Well, everybody knows about it now, so thanks. Let's see who we got here. P3, P2, and then our winner will have to show up, I guess, at a later date. But we can start with P3. Let's talk to that P3 finisher, the F6, Daniel Simmons. Daniel, congratulations again. This is the second week in a row I'm talking to you. One spot a little bit lower. I know you want to be going the other direction, but man, a solid finish tonight. And honestly, I don't know that I think a little pit strategy may have played a factor in that.
Yeah. Whenever we first logged on, I told Jamie, I was like, man, thought about hitting you up and telling you I was sick tonight or something. Like, this is by far my worst racetrack. So if I told him, I was like, man, I don't even know if I've ever completed a race here or not. So walking away with a top 3, that's winning to me.
Well, we talked about how tough this track was, and again, talking about you either love or hate this track, and I'm kind of with you there. I'm not really sure I really know what I'm doing here at this track, it seems like most of the time, but man, you had it figured out tonight. Running on P3, you guys kind of stayed in line there towards the end, and I think you took 2 tires on that pit stop to get you some track position, did you not?
Yeah. I mean, the whole race, I was just way too loose. So I was like, heck, I'm going to go ahead and take 2 tires. Let's just make it worse. Heck, what's the worst that can happen?
Were you shocked about how tough, and Tony, I'll get you in next, but were you shocked at how tough it was to pass out? It seemed like track position was the key tonight because it seemed like it was so tough to complete a pass because of the way the drafting works on the straights.
Yeah, it was. I know I think it was the 57. It seemed like we battled for about 4 or 5 laps right there. I mean, when I was behind him catching him right there before I ever got to draft, I felt like I was way faster than he was, but it's just mine was so loose whenever I'd pinched the corner off, it was just completely sideways. So, but it definitely was tough. It's almost like you had to wait for somebody to make a mistake passing somebody else before you could pass them.
All right, Tony.
Yeah. Well, no, I was going to say too. Yeah. Well, we made a comment a couple times during the race how loose you were getting. You were slipping and sliding. trying to get underneath cars, trying to make the pass too. Even on turn one, you and your teammate both kind of wall tapped. Was that kind of what was going through your mind when that first happened for lap one? I mean, I've done it myself often, so I know what I would go through, but I'm just curious, especially now that we know that you're not really a huge fan of the track, and that's how you start your race. But I mean, here you are in third place at the end, so worked out.
Yeah. So I guess mine and Jamie's first laps at this track this week was right when y'all put the practice up. So it never really got that loose in practice. I mean, it wanted to step around with us a little bit on exit, but it's like whenever we rolled off in one right there, I guess there's bumps kind of in the middle of the track, and it's like it just bottomed out and just shot us both up the racetrack. So it's lucky our night didn't end right there for sure.
Yeah, you were definitely wrestling the car, but did a great job. Hung on to it and come home to a P3 finish. Congratulations. It's a track you don't like. I think it's like a win, but I'm going to hand the mic to you, let you do your sponsor shout outs or say hi to anybody out there.
Yeah, I got to thank Team Connie. Like I say, they got us pretty close with a setup right here for us not to practice or run any this week. So got to shout out to those guys. I mean, everybody run a pretty good race, man. You got to give a shout out to everybody, kind of kept it clean and all. And thank you guys for putting this series on.
It definitely was fun to watch, and hope you had fun out there, even though it may not be your cup of tea, but it looked like a lot of fun out there. So again, congratulations, P3 is your P3 finisher, the 06 of Daniel Simmons.
Thank you.
All right, moving on, Tony. We're going to bring in P2, second place finisher. The 01 of Nathan.
I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I pitch excellence.
Well, there you have it from Nathan Biggert.
Here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I pitch excellence.
Yeah, I don't know if you can shut it off. So,
I was trying to.
Here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and
well, we're
simple.
going to skip Nathan Biggert
I pitch excellence.
Because I can't pull him into the channel without him playing a soundboard. So we're going to skip straight to our top finisher, the 99 of Danny LaFleur. Danny, congratulations, P1 tonight. You took home the win. You were
thank you.
You were looking really strong out there, man. And I think on 2 tires. Congratulations.
No, I put 4.
Oh, you did have 4.
Tires. Yeah, I put 4 tires. Jamie and Daniel, I think, put 2. And then there's other two other people that did that. But I put 4.
Well, I was trying to give you a little more credit, man, about driving this car. But hey, it doesn't matter, man. You took over the checkered flag. You held off the 01 and Nathan Biggert. You did a great job there. Just talk. I mean, we've been talking all night about how tough it is to pass out there. It seemed like it was really tough to pass, and track position was key. We saw the 31 of Jeff Chandler lose track position, was never really able to rebound. Talk about how tough it was out there to pass, to race, to hang on to the car. We saw some guys bouncing off the walls as well. It seemed like it was really tough out there.
Yeah, in the first stint, I hit the wall a couple times, and immediately when you just lose a little bit of speed, there's 3 or 4 cars going by you with the draft. So it's pretty hard on this track. If you make a mistake, the field is so close. So yeah, with I think on the restart it was the most important part. So that's why I pushed hard on the last restart. I know Nick was he was inside, and I could push it to be able to pass him. And I don't think I had the fastest car tonight at all. I'm happy with the result, and I'm happy that Nathan kind of helped me a little bit to get away.
You guys have been on a roll. That's 3 in a row for Moreau Motorsports too. I got to make that point as well. You guys
4
really.
in a row.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's right. It is 4 in a row. Jeez, you guys are on par, man. It wasn't Nick, but man, you were able to bring it home for the team. That's awesome. And we were talking too. I lost my train of thought. Now you got me off. You got me off topic. I'm gonna give it to Tony with that 4 in a row.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, what we were talking about even last week with Nick was just, you guys kind of started off the season a little slow. Then you kind of found what you were missing, and maybe you got to be spending more time practicing or whatnot. And yeah, you guys been on a dominant tear lately, and it's good to kind of see somebody besides Nick get the W. And you guys both were strong tonight, but yeah, you came on top. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see my powers on, and I didn't actually get to see you take the lead at that point in time. But like I say, you were pretty strong all night, and just biding your time. I mean, you're definitely a top 5 runner all night, and just good to see you get the win there. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. I'm very happy about the result. Me and Nick been putting a little bit more time to the teammates as well, so it's showing up, and yeah, which just having fun and being competitive.
That's what I was going to actually say. I'm glad you said that because you jogged my memory there. I was, we were talking. I talked to Nick last week. He said he wasn't sure if he was going to be able to put time in this week for Pocono. Apparently he did. You guys did. You found the time to do so. Just talk about how much preparation goes into these races.
Oh, it's a lot of work. Nick is pretty good with doing setups, and I go out and I practice, and we just talk about the setup and tries to improve it. I did two races this week, so it's not that much, but it's also out. The setup will react during the race. It's so important.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Danny, it was really impressive. You were able to hold off there at the end. You guys kind of stayed in line there, kind of pulled away from, top 3 kind of broke away, and everybody else is having to chase you guys. So
yeah, Nathan had a good, very good setup. I think he was better off. Well, he was pushing me in the third corner, so he's trying to get the better exit. But I think I was better in the second corner, and that's why I stayed in front, I guess.
Yeah.
But I really don't think me and Nathan had the fastest cars tonight. But
well, it was
we did it.
Exactly. It doesn't matter. The record book will show a 1 beside your name in this race, so it doesn't really matter who had the fastest car. You guys were able to kind of pull off a little. Whatever happened on pit road, and you got to the lead. That was the call. That was the move to put you out front. So again, congratulations. Great job. Great win. I'm going to give the mic to you, though, and let you shout out to your sponsors or anybody that's watching on the broadcast.
We'll try to do some practice for next week, but next week is Indy, so it's probably going to be the same race as tonight.
Yeah. You can hope.
I'm doing the 24-hour spot this weekend, so I might not have much time this week. We'll see. I'm going to thank, of course, you guys, FTSR on the broadcast. You guys are doing an amazing job, and we're just lucky to have a league like this that we can go every week and have fun. Of course, our main sponsor, Transit, Nick, and all the teammates that put so much work in helping us to get this W tonight.
Yeah, I got to shout out to you guys too, man. Putting on a good show out there, putting on a really strong race. It was a lot of fun to call, a lot of fun to watch. Again, congratulations. Taking home the trophy tonight, the 99 of Danny LaFleur.
Thank you.
Yeah, good job.
Man, I tell you, Tony, that was a fun race to watch for sure. It was.
It was. Yeah, I'm kind of sad I missed a little of it, but yeah, I mean, early on it was great. I mean, towards the end too. I mean, who would have guessed Danny LaFleur would have been there in the top, in the top spot too at the end. I mean, he was definitely a top 5 car, but for him to come up and take that lead too, and even Daniel Simmons in third, Nate Biggert, which we're talking to in a little bit here. I mean, we knew he was going to be a second, or we knew he was up there, but it was a good shakeup in the top 5, and yeah, a great race.
Okay, he says that it's gone now, and we're going to try again with Nate. Give me just a second. And it did not. All right, so Nathan, third time's a charm. Congratulations, P2. Congratulations, P2, I guess, but I know finishing second kind of sucks sometimes, but good run, man. Was there anything you could do with the 99 there at the end?
I mean, I don't know. I think I could have tried, made a move and pushed it, but the week I've had at Pocono, I was definitely happy and content with second place. I wanted to just keep pushing Danny out there and try to pull away from everyone else, and I think if I would have went for the move, I mean, it don't take but one corner and you're side by side, and then you got Danny, Richie, and Nick all right there, and there's 5 of us probably get tipped 3 wide and even lose spot rather than gain. So I was happy just following them, pushing them to the end, come home with a P2 tonight.
Well, Nate, you did some of the most pushing out there of anybody else on the straightaway, and I think it's because you figured out really early on how easy it was to get freight trained out there. If you ended up in the wrong lane, tried to make a move and it didn't work out, guys would just blow by. These vultures out there, they're ready to take that position. So, kind of talk about the preparation coming into this race, what you kind of expected, and did it turn out how you expected, and also talk about how hard it is to pass out there.
Yeah, that's the thing. I did a lot of preparation this week. I think I ran at least 3 or 4 NISs. Those were 80 lap runs here, 80 lap races, and that was the biggest thing I noticed. If I restarted on the bottom and you'd just get taken by the outside, you'd lose 3 spots every straightaway. Well, the big straightaway, the front stretch. And I was just wanting to stay in line tonight and just trying to hold my position, not so much, making big moves. Every time I tried it this week, it just didn't work. So I was just content with the pushing, trying to outweight everybody, let them make their moves, and just try to stay on that outside and take them when they did it. If you don't clear them within that first corner and you don't have people behind you helping you on that bottom lane, there's just nothing you can do. These cars have a good draft, and this track's just so big, you just can't get the run. You can't get the pass completed. So yeah, I was just happy staying behind, pushing anybody who was in front of me, and it seemed to work out good for me.
Yeah, you were one of the few guys that really used that outside to your benefit a lot, especially through turn 3, able to get that run off the corner. But Tony, I'm going to hand it to you. You got anything for him?
Well, him and I were chatting a little bit earlier, and yeah, I mean, a lot of the personal questions between him and I were kind of somewhat answered. But yeah, you were kind of turning this Pocono into kind of a bump draft Talladega, Daytona style race, and we'd never really seen too much of that. And I mean, obviously, it worked out for you. It would have been nice to see you make that move. We had talked about that earlier. Maybe spice it up, try to go for that W. But no, I mean, great job on your second place, and that was a good race all along.
Yeah, thank you. I think next week, another big track, but it's a little bit different. That inside really works. You'll see a lot of side by side next week. So looking forward to Indy. It's a lot, there's a lot of similarities. There's a lot of the big draft, but you can do that too wide and hold your position. So looking forward to that. Hopefully you can make that move next week.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to next week for sure to see who kind of comes out on top at the Brickyard. I know this is the first time that the Cup Series has been back at the Brickyard in a while, but we've kind of been ahead of the curve. We went back to the Oval years ago, so we've run it a couple times. It's always put on some great shows. Looking forward to it next week. But this week, P2 for Nathan Biggert. You try to do one spot better next week. I'm going to hand you the mic and let you give your shout outs and your sponsor plugs.
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to FTSR, all the admins do all the work for us to just come out and have fun. Appreciate all the work you guys do. Thank the broadcast team, all the fans for watching. Fuego Autosports, Fuego Paints. Appreciate you out there, Joe, supporting me, still watching, seeing how I do. And apologies for my soundboard. I fixed it finally, sorry. And just shout out to Mom. She's always out there. I know she's watching live now. Love you.
Absolutely. There's P2 Nathan Biggert looking for one spot better next week at the Brickyard. Yeah, Tony, you was talking about the Brickyard. I'm looking forward to that race next week. It should be a entertaining race at that track for sure.
Indy's always fun, no matter what you're driving. So yeah, it should be a good race next week for sure.
Are you driving next week?
No.
Oh, okay. He'll be here. He'll be with us.
No, I'm not.
You guys will get to hear from him next week.
Hopefully we won't have storms and I'll be able to finish off the broadcast. But yeah, no, it's Indy's a great track. It is a lot of fun, but yes, I'll be in the booth with you as well. Again, it's the cars, not the track.
Actually, breaking news. Just realized next week would be the week that I am on vacation. So actually LSR TV will be covering the broadcast. We'll talk to them, see if you want to get in the booth with them. Or if you want to drive, but
yeah, maybe I will be on track.
We'll see. But next week will be LSR TV for the Cup Series. That's where you'll find the FTSR Cup Series over on LSR TV. But yeah, again, a great race tonight. Only a few cautions, a lot of pit strategy. We saw the 67 hit it right. Kind of hit the jackpot. Although it didn't quite work out for him as he ended up in ninth. He got the 57 pulling some different strategy. Love to see that kind of stuff. But in the end, it's Danny LaFleur on his 4 tires taking home the victory over Nathan Biggert. And great race this week. We'll look for another one next week.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of shakeups throughout the field. Some guys, benefited. Some guys, we thought we were going to benefit and didn't quite get there. But yeah, great race overall. I mean, very spicy and very entertaining.
All right, well, that'll do it for us here at Full Throttle Television. For Tony Solari, I'm Brody Hanna. On behalf of Full Throttle Sim Racing, the Mach-1 Performance Cup Series and Victory Fuel, we'll see you in 2 weeks after the Olympic break. We'll be back on Full Throttle TV. Like I said, remember to catch next week's race for the Full Throttle Sim Racing Mach-1 Performance Cup Series over on LSR TV. But that'll do it. We'll see you next time here on Full Throttle Television.